this situation?
I don't know how we got here.
How do you...
Oh, man. And what's on the other side over there?
More land.
Just more land? All right, guys. So I'm hitting you with special segments on Cleaning and Cocktails. And this is our Cleaning and Cocktails Roadshow, right?
Yeah.
Because if you guys remember, we were just in Dallas. We're now in Houston. As you see, Dan is with us, so I'm telling the truth. He was just with us in Dallas, now we're in Houston. I've got two great guests. One you've already met before, Dan Schindler from Integrity Facility Solutions out of Dallas, Texas. But we are here with Alex Melgar, the CEO and founder of uSource, former CEO of Ambassador Services, in the cleaning industry, live and breathing the cleaning industry. And why I have both of them here, you guys, is Dan did us a favor by allowing us into his life and seeing his passion and his love for aviation. We are now here with Alex on his ranch, Casa Bendita, here in the outskirts of Houston, Texas. And Alex, I want to give you a second to introduce yourself, but I do want to say first and foremost, thank you for allowing us to come to your home. It's a beautiful space. You guys are going to actually get to see a lot of the space. You could hear the water in the background. You can see how like tranquil it is, man. So Alex, thank you so much for allowing us to be here, man. You invited us here, so introduce yourself and tell us what is it about this place that you love and enjoy.
Well, my name is Alex Melgar, and I am the former CEO of Ambassador Services. I've been part of the cleaning industry for 24 years now. Started myself as a cleaner, janitor, back in the early 2000s.
That's it right there. We already know you're going to be cleaner, janitor. So
yeah,
keep it going.
Well, one of those careers. No. And now, I serve as the CEO for uSource Technology, which is or my new venture, which is a software for the maintenance industry, actually. Yeah. Oh, this is my ranch.
Yes.
I enjoy coming here. I acquired them several years ago. I'm a big believer of life balance, between work and I enjoy the nature, man. This is what I disconnect. You need to disconnect to come up with new ideas, far from the city, far from the day-to-day operations, and this is so special for us.
Yeah. No, man, and I could tell, like, even when we drove in, Ricky, right? Like, you already were explaining, like, you could tell the love that you have for this place and some of the things when we walked in. Share a little bit about that, as far as when we were driving up.
Oh, so this property is a total of 150 acres, as I was telling you.
He did say 150 acres, so not too big. It's not too big. Yeah.
It's a decent site. So one of the things, I was sharing with you guys earlier is we have over 10,000 trees, and I think it's like over 50 species of trees and wild animals. We have 3 conservatory areas in the property itself. They're small. One is 17 acres, the other is 30 acres, and so forth. I personally don't like to cut trees or them. So the story I was telling them, when we were building some of the areas here, the truck couldn't come in because of the tree. So they advised me, hey, let's cut a tree so that we can come in. And I say, no. So we ended up actually dumping the concrete in the smaller trucks.
Wow.
I'm so adamant that, this is what makes this place beautiful, the nature. We want to keep it that way.
The respect, because you had 10,000 trees.
Yeah. Like, what's one?
Someone else would say, yeah, what's one? But the respect that you have for something that's been there for years.
Yeah, each one of them represents something, in the property. We were talking earlier about that tree that is about to die. And I think Dan and I shared the same concept. You have a property as well. Yeah. And you say, I don't like, I let them fall. And I live with the same concept.
You just said the same thing.
Same concept, because you see, when you see a tree, like we have one here, it's a very special tree that I admire, like right here behind the chimney. That tree being there, and the people think that it's dead, but that tree has been here through hurricanes, tornadoes, inclement. So I feel a lot of respect for that tree.
Yeah.
It's like our careers. When we first started, we go and we become CEOs, like from janitors to CEOs, because we have gone through a lot of stuff, right? So there's a respect that is being earned.
It's
That's how
appreciation.
I see it. I see, the appreciation to that, tenacity of being there.
Yeah. No, man. And I was off camera. It was funny. I was telling Jesus, we're setting up the space here, and like Alex hasn't stopped moving since he got here, and he's behind us. And I know you probably saw that. Oh, the camera's gonna be facing there, and he's moving stuff. Like
That's my OCD.
You're meticulous. No,
That's my OCD. Yeah.
So, well, that's what makes you. Again, we got some awesome episodes that are going to be coming, guys, as far as where we're going. But again, as I told Dan, Alex, is like we get to know you as we're asking these questions, and with you earlier in the day. We've met before. I know me and Ricky have met you a couple times, but I don't know this side of you, right? And I think this is why it's exciting to share this side of the story, because we're just not cleaning business owners, right? We have other sides to what we do. You're not just a software business owner, right? And the personal side is what I think makes it human for other people in the industry to know, man, Alex was a janitor. He owned a cleaning company. He started a software, but yet he's got this. Same thing with Dan, right? Like, and we were talking about how important it is for you guys to be sharing these stories, because it does make it possible, and it makes people inspired. Again, it's not like we're here to say, oh, look what I got, look what I did. No, it's look what you got to, because we got to here, man. So tell us a little bit about that journey, Alex. To how did you get to this house? Did you find this house? Did you always have a inspiration to buy a property like this for your family? Because we were talking about your dad earlier.
Yeah. Well, quick answer to that, yes. So, I always have that desire to actually have a property that I can get away. I think so many years my dad actually dreamed about this, and sometimes our parents or family members will live their dream through our eyes, right? So it was one of those things that I always wanted to do. How do we get here? Well, as I mentioned to you, 24 years in the industry. I'm from El Salvador. Started my career right after coming high school. Got an invitation to join a cleaning company. And one joke I always make, I forgot to ask how much they're gonna pay me. Slowly, coming from an entrepreneurship family, my dad was a business owner. He had a small distribution centers for Pepsi Cola, and I mean small. He had a couple trucks distributing Pepsi Cola. I grew up in restaurants and bars. As he sell one, I started a new one. And that was my life. So when I was a kid, I got exposed to actually seeing my dad doing businesses, and it's the man that I most admire in my life. I mean, he would have no education whatsoever, and I mean like no education, but he was very smart to take advantage of the opportunities and work hard, and he put that on us. So then when I got to be 19 years old and I finished high school, I needed to pursue my own career. He was very clear that everything that we were working on as a kids and supporting him was his. And at that time as a kid, I thought myself, oh, my dad, how? Like, yeah,
why would you do that to me?
Yeah,
It's ours.
So my dad, hey, it's ours. But no, now as an adult and having kids, I understand that he was doing me a favor. He was really telling me that I needed to push myself for something better than what he did. And I did. So I started my career as a janitor and slowly moved myself up, from carpet technician to a supervisor of the carpet technicians and so forth. Until, one day I just asked him, and I moved from one company to another working for other guys, and I decided to start. And I went to my boss, my former boss at that time. His name is Steve Hatchett. I still call him my boss. I promise I call him boss.
You see him out the street?
Yeah. If you see him, I always call him boss. I'll tell you, so I went to him, and I was a carpet technician for him because I moved from Tennessee to Houston. And I told him, look, I want to do something on my own. Of course, I come with this mindset already of being, seeing my dad being an entrepreneur. And one thing I learned from him, that's what I mentioned, was his attitude when I approached him. He was doing carpet cleaning and floor maintenance. And I said, man, hey, look, I want to do janitorial, but I don't want to feel you competing, I'm competing with you. So if I get any contract and the floor or carpet, I bring it to you. That was my promise. And I believe that you worth everything you have. I mean, if you, the contract's only good when people disagree. All right? Right. It's true. I mean, before you don't look at it. I mean, it's right there on the file.
It's like you had the chance to look at it.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, if you never use it and things in a good term, I mean, it was worth nothing, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he got me the first opportunity, man. And I
So
still,
he said yes. He
said
said
yes.
yeah. Okay.
And this is how he did it. He's like, I know you don't know how to do this. I'm gonna help you. And one thing that impacted my life was to understand that you can always support the next coming, trying to do better.
The next generation.
You know what he said? He said, I know you deserve better. I know you're gonna work for it. And then he got me the first opportunity in which one day when we walked my office, I'll show you the first check he wrote me.
Oh, you still got it.
I made a copy.
Oh,
I made a color copy. And I told myself one day I'm just gonna frame it and I have that vision that I wanted to do something better. But the point is he got me a contract in which I still remember the check's proof. I was getting paid $1,100, $1,150 to be exact, a month. A small restaurant, and I remember this is about it's like an hour and a half from home. I'm still an employee working nighttime, and after my shift, I would run to the restaurant. And one thing I learned is people sense it when you're a small company. The employees sense this. They leave you. And not because you're paying less or more, they just leave you. They sense this, right? Yeah. Stability. So my employees will leave, right? Of course, I didn't pay much but it was not much work. That was the first job I got as a company. Interesting or funny top story of that. First check he wrote me, he asked me what's the company name, and I never had done businesses in the U.S. I mean, I'm just a teenager. Well, actually, no, I was 20, 21, 22, I think at that time, and he wrote the name, my name, and I say, oh, it's Clean Waste Solutions. So he wrote the check of Clean Waste Solutions. Little I knew I need to have a bank account.
What am I going to do with this check?
So he got me the check. And the story there is that I went back and I said, hey, Steve, I can cash the check. So guess how he fixed the problem? He put / Alex Melgar to the check. Right there to the check. It's like fixed. The problem is fixed. People criticize it. Friends, they wanted to be out clubbing and having fun. Of course, the weekends is the worst time where the employees decide to fail on you. Like, so they decide, especially when you're a small company, they're like,
I can't make it today.
And restaurants are 7 days a week.
Yeah.
All right? So Saturdays, my employees didn't show up. So I get to people like, oh, how much you make out of that? I say, I don't know, $150 or $300 a month. He's like, you're crazy. I say, yeah, crazy for my future.
Yeah.
And that's how we started.
That's it. And you've used that to where you are. And you know what? What is, again, as I ask many people questions, it's funny how I've interviewed all three of you now separately, right? Even Ricky, right? And I just see the common traits, right? We just got done talking to Dan, Alex, and it's like your story of just literally what you just mentioned, your father instilling what he instilled. Again, not every story is exactly the same, but those moments and stages,
there's some.
It starts to really get like, this is a trend, right? Like the people that reach a pinnacle, and not that we've reached our pinnacles, but it's awesome to just see like it's repetitive.
Yeah.
Right. And this is hard. This industry is very hard. Right. Yeah. So you've been in it for a long time. I want to ask the question on family. Is there a lot of family that's involved with Ambassador and then now with uSource? Anything you've done, do you involve family with the businesses?
Like any others,
Just
small
businesses.
businesses. Yeah. So along the way in my career, family members work with me. Some still work with me, but things start shifting and changing, and they have nothing to do with me wondering or not wondering to have family members in there. It's just the nature of the company or the business to start creating structure, and some can sustain the fact that you representing a brand and not yourself, and so others can't. So in some instances, some of my family members created their own businesses, and now they're contractors, and they have their own cleaning or maintenance companies.
Yeah.
Some of them do business with us, sometimes as subcontractors, or others they have their own contracts. And others couldn't continue that career with our company. And I say our company, not with me, because truly I'm a big believer that I am only a title behind an organization. Mm-hmm. I don't build the organization. I'm not the organization. And so when we were smaller, more family members were part of it.
Yep.
And as we get bigger, less family members. I can't make all those decisions now. There's other individuals and needs to comply with policies, right? Processes. And if they want to stay around and they can, and the company embrace that, good.
Yeah.
For you. But yes.
Well, that's why I'm excited because I don't want to dig too much into the companies because I want to share a lot to everybody in the companies when we're at the office. But I did in the short walkthrough of your space, man. You can see right the ooze of operations, systems, processes. Kudos to that, man, because you weren't born with that though, right? You didn't in the beginning of the career. You didn't have any of that.
No.
Like when along the line did you start to know that, man, I gotta have systems, I gotta have processes?
When the customer call you and terminate your contract,
Step one.
that's a step one.
Let's fix what's broken.
And if not, step two is the second customer call you and terminate the contract. So as you grow in your business, then you realize you need processes. Here's what I said this.
You don't have to
before.
have this all. You just proved it. You don't have to have it in place in the beginning.
Oh, no, you
Whenever-
don't.
When you can't.
But you need to somehow be able to structure yourself, and maybe not the others. Here's the thing. I think we all CEOs go through three phases: the I, the we, and they. And I say this many times, and I try to. The I is what I recognize as the technician. You know why? Because it's the one that always do. I do it. The one that actually have a scope of work and do it, right? The we, which is the manager, is the one I recognize that it will manage people, processes, right? Scope of works. And the they is the CEO. Is the one that manage resources, deploy resources, mentor. So I didn't have that, but as I started moving up in the organization, so think about now the technician, the manager, and the CEO.
Yeah.
When I start hiring more technicians, what am I coming to?
You're coming to the we.
To the we, right? The manager. But what happened when I start hiring managers?
You got to move up to the they.
And if you don't, you get stuck there.
You get stuck at
But here's the problem. If you get stuck there, then the other ones don't grow. You keep pushing them down because you're the CEO. I mean, you're the owner. Let's put the owner, right? Who manager wants to override the owner?
No.
So what happened? I mean, their growth stopped, and yours will stop. So how do you manage, the business at this point? That's when you get forced to slowly start implementing. You want to tell them what to do when a customer calls? Create a script. Tell them, oh, I'm sorry that this is happening. Apologize. Why? Because you want them to replicate what you already created and just make it better.
Yeah.
You need to create that foundation, and by creating processes, policies, and trainings, that's what you're doing. You helping them to have a foundation, and where from that point on they can just make it better.
Man, I like that.
That's really good.
I, we, they. The three stages of becoming a CEO that is still in charge of different things, but you're allowing for everybody to come in now, right?
Absolutely.
It's nice. I see. I learned stuff at your place. I'm learning over here. So I don't learn anything.
No, I know.
So, Ricky, jump in here and for you two to El Salvador, Ricky, you're from Argentina, right? Like, how awesome is it to see somebody like Alex get to where he's gotten to, where you built your own path, but now, again, we're collecting, we're collaborating, right? You guys are going to be in L-Band.
Yeah.
I'm in L-Band.
Alban, all the way.
No, I mean, someone like Alex, it's a role model for all these Latinos that they. So I have a sense that there are a lot of them that they do want to be an entrepreneur. They don't know how, because sometimes it's not easy. Lack of education, lack of opportunity. I seen that in New York, where, man, a lot of Latinos end up in these pyramid schemes because they don't know any better. So to have people like you to be a role model for them, and for you to share that with them, man, I applaud you.
Yeah, because and it's, well, I mean, Dan, you've seen it, right? We've seen Alex at a couple of events, and you see how you have a group of people that'll come around you and ask questions, and sometimes we may be too busy to answer them, but I don't, like, this goes for all of you guys too, is none of you are busy. Like, I always see everybody giving back and sharing. You open your doors, right? Like, that also shows me something of where the industry is going, because again, I've only been in the industry for 10 years, and in the first 6, I think I was telling you, Dan, is like I didn't see any of this. I was on my own. Like my wife was like, I would ask my wife. She's like, Rick, how am I supposed to know? I got in when you got in. And I'm like, but babe, what do you think though? She's like, go ask somebody. But in the last 4 or 5 years, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
There's been a shift.
There's been a shift. There's been a shift. Now, let's touch on something because I didn't want to leave the family piece because I remember you just telling me because I asked 7 sisters. How is it to have 7 sisters? I've got 0, but I've got 6 aunts. So,
I was very similar. You love with a lot of love and a lot of, I would say, overprotection. Yeah, for sure.
That's got to make an impact on you as a man, right?
Yep.
As a husband, as a father now, a business owner. Where
So just 7 sisters, no brothers?
I do have a brother. I say I do have a nephew by blood, a brother by choice.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, his name is Carlos Melgar, and we grew up together. We worked together. That's my
So how would the age difference?
3 years.
Okay.
Oh, no, man,
So it's
no,
like
less than 3 years.
Okay.
So very close.
And where are you with the sisters? Like middle? Are you
I'm
the
one of
older?
I'm one of the youngest ones. I only have one younger sister.
7 bosses.
Oh yeah, 7 bosses. Yeah.
7 bosses.
I grew up with all sisters too, so
Yeah.
that's why we did it.
Yeah, we
So you
understand each other.
You guys understand each other.
It's amazing because here's there's a lot to learn when you have that many sisters, right? And like obviously you can learn good or bad of anything, right? One thing that my dad was very smart. He was very kind and soft with my sisters, but not with the boys. Carlos and I. And he will make sure that we would respect our sisters, right? And beyond that, make sure that everyone respect my sisters. So by looking at the relationship that they were having with their boyfriends, now husbands and stuff, you learn quite a bit. You learn what you're not supposed to do and what you're supposed to do in a relationship. So that was very helpful.
No,
I would say as a guy, right?
Well, no, I'll tell you, man.
Besides, they would bring a lot of friends with them.
That's a big plus. The one I'll tell you, the one thing I know, and I think you guys are going to share the same sentiment, is like I said, I had a lot of aunts that were a big part of my family. I learned how to be empathetic more, right? And like there's just that soft touch of, I wasn't an owner when I was young. I was always an employee of another company, but I always had empathy as an employee towards leadership and management. Like I knew there was a place for everything, but that came from my aunt. So I got to believe the way you treat your staff and you treat your employees, both of you, since all you had was sisters, that had to have played a role in some way, right? Like just how you treat others though. Watching your father treat.
It does. It actually, it's a foundation, right? But one of the biggest things for me was the fact that I was a janitor, like you guys, right? I made a promise myself that I didn't like how I was treated. And more than treated, it's how I feel about what I was doing. Because I don't think someone mistreated me. It was more of my own feeling, right? And so I decided that when I would start my business, it was a promise I made. I wanted to change that, and I wanted the members in my organization to feel different, and I say feel appreciated, but feel that they're doing something that is important. So we emphasize a lot of that, and that empathy more than empathy is respect, right? I start like making sure that they respect themselves first, and we put that face in front of our customers and vendor to say, we making a difference here.
Yeah. Okay. Now, because I'm just hearing this water.
I know.
So this is
It's relaxing. Don't
it's
fall asleep.
relaxing. So,
I don't think that we will.
this is coming soon. Cleaning and cocktails. I have to do this.
You and I might fall asleep.
I know.
You all right?
So Alex, let's take us back to where we are.
Yeah.
This beautiful ranch and this beautiful setting. You started off as a janitor. You got to, you started building up the brand in your own company. When was the moment that you knew I can do more than just own one business? Because you're a man that has many different ventures, right? I don't even know them all. You got so many. But was there a moment that you said, you know what, this is not it? I'm actually gonna open up more businesses, or I'm interested in venturing off? Was there a
Yeah.
pivotal moment?
I think there's a moment in business where you need to know when to step out, step down. And when I mean that is, we talk about the three stages, right? I, we, and they. There's one more, and that's then. When you refer all the people, you step on to do mentoring only. At this point in my career, and I have to say, look, I might be really good at doing CEO stuff, but we talk
said,
about
yeah,
this.
We're not trying to apply to be a CEO anywhere else.
I feel, I think it called the maturity thing of when you mature as a CEO, then I used to be the one making all the decisions. Truly, I used to be the one like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. I listened to everyone, but I was like, this is it. I will like everyone. As I mature as an entrepreneur and a CEO, right, and education helps with this. I got the opportunity to be surrounded by amazing individuals, leaders, continue my education. What I learned is that we don't have all the information. We actually hold the minimum information of what happened in our organization. So there's a moment where you need to bring someone else to look at this thing so you can, or like a soccer game, right? You like soccer or football, basketball?
No.
What is
Over here.
Huh?
Over here.
Aviation, right? Oh, there you go. Here's what happened, right? And you can't fly the airplane and directing the other airplanes, right?
Right.
You can't do it. You might know where they might be located, but you can't direct yours and theirs. So at the point when I started venturing out is because we decided to go and open a new business, right? And then I realized, like, I'm stuck here. And I'm looking at
Can't
just
do that if I'm doing this.
Yeah, correct. So there's a moment where like a baby. You grow the baby walk, then it start running. It becomes a young adult, and then when it's an adult, then I thought myself, well, it's really you need to let it run, and on his own, and that's where Carlos has stepped into the plate. At least with Ambassador, but Ambassador was not our first company. We already have an exit with another company. And in that way, therefore, you start letting others to do what they're good at it. Because they're all, hungry and creative as we are.
Yeah.
And that's the moment where I tell myself, well, you know what, maybe I should stay in the pattern of sharing my experiences and guiding them to tell them, hey, this is the potholes that you're gonna find. I mean, because we know if you're mentoring someone in a smaller business, you're gonna tell them, hey.
You're almost telling them by choice too. You're like, all right, so this is gonna happen. You're probably gonna have to do this, and this has not come yet, but in year 3, it's gonna like because
Right.
you just know, man. You really do.
Right.
I
So
hope they listen.
yeah,
That's-
as long as they do one of 10 things, right? You tell them 10 and they do one.
Job done. Well, I mean, you guys are both in there, right? You're mentoring, and again, it's funny. Just you've mentored people too. It's telling you there's like a pattern. There's a pattern here. There's definitely a pattern. And to think,
42. Oh well,
We
almost
all
42.
42.
Yeah, 41.
I'm 41.
42 club.
41. I'm getting to
41.
42.
I'm still
40
41 for a longer time than you.
Okay. April 9th.
I'm
I'm
the old man
42.
in the group.
No, man. So
More wiser. That's what it is. More experience.
There you go.
with age comes. So let's talk about Alex now. All right. So yeah, you had those moments. I love that fourth option too. So the them, right? It's them is the fourth option. So now, okay. So you're in other ventures. You're wearing a pretty badass branded shirt here or jacket. Technology. You're both actually very innovative, tech driven. I mean, both of your businesses run on technology. So it's fitting that you're both sitting next to each other. But when did you think? Did you think you were going to launch software, or the idea of uSource? We're going to get further into it. Not today, but just
How was it born?
how was
Like,
it born? Yeah.
Wow.
You were sitting here.
One day I'm just sitting having a glass of tequila. No.
Tequila. See, it's the root of all good ideas.
Good. Well, I tell you how my journey developing, a software company, creating a software company. So how was created, or the need was created, was as I grow in my own business. And the idea was let me see, 10 years ago it started.
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Fuck,
The idea.
I just got in the industry.
The idea.
You were still cleaning.
I was cleaning toilets.
The idea
There's got to be a
started
better way. He's making these.
10 years ago. And so little I knew, or nothing I knew about, I mean, I don't know anything about software. So don't ask me about coding. I don't know any of that. I'm an entrepreneur guy, right? So creating is my passion.
Yeah.
Back in 2014, I would say, give or take, I went to my CFO and I say, man, I got to have visibility of certain information and to run my business, right? And what ended happening is we have these multiple apps. I mean, anything from my financial app, system, they give me some information, this other say.
You got a little bit of everything.
Everything. I'm like, give me something. I need to read. I mean, everything consolidated. Like, so he made a mission to try to find something, right? And he come back and say, well, there's nothing. I mean, like we can consolidate some parts, but not all of them. And I say, well, we still, okay, perfect. I say, wow, this is what I need. And start our pictures. And then, because
once you start whiteboarding,
yeah, right there on the
over.
board. So me not knowing anything about software, I went to him and I say, well, nobody have created this. So let's create ourselves.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. Of course, everything.
Where
is
are the
easy.
scars? Where are the
Yeah. And so I still remember. So my CFO, an amazing guy, he didn't know about software neither. He's a numbers guy. So what he does, he said, hey, we can get a guy coming out of college. They know how to develop software. So we hired this guy named Amos. And we put him behind a computer.
You're like,
right there.
You're like, here.
Do software.
Do software. Exactly like that, man. Here's the story about the beginnings, right? And this is 10 years. 10 years, or maybe a little bit more. So Amos is sitting there, and I can see Amos from my office. And I see Amos, and we, like I say, we matured, right, as a CEO. So I'm looking Amos. Everyone else, I can tangibly see something there. Either they're cleaning, they're like the warehouse,
Sending an invoice,
the secretary, like the whole thing. But Amos, I can't see anything. First, I don't understand how he's reading what he's doing, right? So I go every time I had the opportunity, I go to the back. Amos, how's our software going? And Amos, I'm working on it. Like I couldn't see. What I say, little or nothing I knew about software. That you need a whole team, just like like anything else. Amos couldn't deliver. Poor Amos.
Where is Amos?
Shout out to Amos.
Where is
Shout out to Amos. So that's how the idea started, and then after Amos, we kind of put a pause to it. I realized, sure, this is for me because I grew up.
Because you're still running the business, and you're still
100%. So that's how the idea started, right? And eventually in 2018 we took on this idea, 17, 18, and went again to the board. And this time I brought someone that knew about software, right? So we did a match, the experience and the software development. And that's how uSource was created. And it's a platform that we believe, can help other business owners like us. And not necessarily is focused just on the maintenance industry. It's a ProTech solution. It's for property managers. And it kind of closed that cycle 360 degree.
Okay.
It has evolved from the original idea. Because originally we wanted to build something for ourselves. I mean, I wanted to get away from Excel sheets.
Yeah.
So many floating around.
Yeah.
So now it's a full ERP system, designed to be able to run your business and communicate with your customers.
Yeah. And it's funny, when again, you guys will see, but dude, it made me think of our small office that we had for inside Roslado, right? Per route. But you have this big office, right? The ambassador services office is there, and it's almost like you are now back to a small office environment, because when we were there, you're like, and this is my real office. 'Cause you got the small space. But how does that make you feel to see that it's finally all coming to fruition? Because it takes time, right?
It takes time.
You said earlier, it's at a moment that you feel much more confident now with the team you have than 3-4 years ago when you first started embarking on it.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, right? I learned more. I went and take some courses about coding and a product manager and stuff. So it's different.
It's
I
different.
mean, like I say, education is key. To continue growing your business. I mean, you have to learn what you don't know and so forth.
It's awesome because I'm sticking to your model. I think you're back in the between I and we, right? In this scenario now with uSource. But man, kudos to that because again, me and Ricky always talk about it in the office. Is like you don't have to be building software, right? You don't have to continue to build other ventures. You've got a great bit. You have a business with Ambassador. Dan, same thing with Integrity. But you're also trying to create technology and build solutions for yourself, right? Where I find that it's awesome to see you guys took pain points in your businesses, which I did too.
Yeah.
Same thing. We took our pain points and actually said, you know what, let's do something about it. Because there's a ton of solutions out there, but that doesn't mean we can't come into the space and do it ourselves. I mean, we're building things for the service industry by service professionals, and I think it doesn't get better than that because I think it was you, Alex, who said it earlier in the truck. You can tell when somebody that's building software came from the industry versus it's just somebody who thought of an idea and said, "Oh, this could work."
That's so true because I can't tell you how many demos I did of different quote unquote janitorial software, and I would literally ask them like, "Have you guys ever cleaned it? It doesn't work. Like whatever you're building is not going to work, And so I mean, I could list a dozen of them that I looked at, and if it's every single one of them, I'd go like. Have you ever heard of the subcontract model? What's that?
Oh,
You
you're like
better
done.
go back to the
You're like
drawing
done.
board,
Done.
True.
Because it's fun. It's not only by service industry professionals, but it came out of a need.
Yep.
Come out of a
Think
need.
of a story. It's the same, and I'm pretty sure this software that you use it to manage your empire. It came out of a need.
Oh, dude, remember when he showed, or you didn't see it,
I-
but he
no,
showed
I-
me the invoicing thing. I was like, what the
No,
hell?
I,
Where did this
I
come
saw
from?
it. No, I saw it, and I
Yeah.
was impressed. No, man, and I respect that because it wasn't just I just want to build something. It's not about building something. Oh, I just want to make money. No, he solves a need.
No, and just again, like I said, there's gonna be a part 2, even a part 3, guys. But Alex's journey, just on the ride here, man, to the ranch. I know Ricky's just laughing in the back too because it's like everything you were saying on how you got here. It's like, oh, check, yep,
Yeah.
I went through, yep. Oh, sounds like me. Okay, dude, because it's a similar path. So I'm excited to see where it continues to go, but not on this episode. We're not going to get too deep. But I want to wrap up, Alex, and obviously thank you for inviting us here. This is
Beautiful.
This
Thank
is unbelievable.
This is your Casa Bendita.
Andale. Yeah.
Is it Casa Bonita?
Casa Bendita, yeah.
Blessed house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Blessing House.
Okay.
Nah, I could see some think tanks happening here. I could see some brainstorming.
Mastermind.
I could see some masterminds happening here, guys.
Yeah.
But no, man, I want to wrap up with this is it's been amazing getting to know you, and we're gonna continue to get to know you. I'm excited to come back and go deeper into Ambassador, go deeper into uSource, and continue to share a story, man. Because I think, Dan, your story is phenomenal. Ricky, your story is phenomenal. This is our industry. This is the cleaning industry. This is what you can do, right? Is what you're seeing with everybody here, and man, I appreciate you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
A
you.
lot more to come. A lot more to
Thank you.
come.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
All right. I know you gentlemen will not be partaking. By default, you have to. I'm sorry. But I just want to say
We do with the water.
Do the water.
Cheers.
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 All right. Cleaning Cocktail family, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, we're going to have a part 2 and a part 3 with Alex Melgar out here, the CEO and founder of uSource, former CEO of Ambassador Services. Dan, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
You've been on the camera all day here. Yeah. And then Ricky, thank you, bro. Thank you as always, being a co-host. And we are out. All right.
Hey, how we end up this situation?
I don't know how we got here.
How do you...
Oh, man. And what's on the other side over there?
More land.
Just more land?